Heart to Heart, a Catholic media ministry, presents Season of Joy, Reflections for the 50 Days of Easter.
Today's reflection is by Peggy Arizzi. Peggy has served her entire career with Catholic Charities agencies in 4 different American dioceses. She is currently Vice President of Programs and Services with Catholic Charities USA. She is also a spiritual director. Peggy first learned about self-sacrificing love through her parents' example and loving Italian family. Now, let's listen to today's scripture, followed by Peggy's reflection.
The Holy Gospel according to John. When Judas had left them, Jesus said, "Now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in him. If God is glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and God will glorify him at once. My children, I will be with you only a little while longer. I give you a new commandment. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The Gospel of the Lord.
In August of 2021, from the comfort of my home and familiar surroundings, I watched the news about the shocking state of affairs in Afghanistan. My mind kept coming back to these troubling images and stories. I knew what that familiar feeling meant. I'd had a prompting, followed by a call from a colleague, and days later, I found myself in Northern Virginia, driving through several checkpoints along a long forested lane leading to the entrance of Quantico Marine Base. Inside Quantico was Camp Upshur, a safe haven built by the Marines for Afghan families fleeing for their lives after the fall of Kabul in the wake of the Taliban taking over. As I entered the camp, there were Marines everywhere walking the streets with machine guns strapped on their backs, articles of clothing hanging to dry over the fence lines, children wandering in between Quonset huts and tents that they now called home, Afghan women with veiled faces and men carrying their prayer beads behind their back would nod and smile as we passed one another. Families were standing in lines for their next meal being served out of newly erected tents that served as dining facilities. I was taken by the numbers of children whose shouts and laughter filled the air. In the midst of this temporary village, I pictured Jesus moving among the crowds, lovingly welcoming these newcomers to our country. Upon entering the Children's Center, 4 little girls and boys ran towards me, wrapping their arms around my legs to give hugs. I had found my new home away from home on an unexpected and unknown journey that awaited me. I give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. These are the words that Jesus tells his disciples in today's gospel when describing the how of loving others. At this refugee camp in Quantico, Virginia, I saw this commandment put into practice daily, boldly, unconditionally, sacrificially. It was the mission I didn't know I needed. These were the words of a Marine who had served 3 tours of duty in Afghanistan, and now, like me, found himself at this safe haven, caring for vulnerable Afghans. I soon came to realize, like this Marine, It was the mission I didn't know I needed, but God did. I had been going through a stressful transition and grieving the death of my beloved nephew when I received that unexpected invitation to join Operation Allies Welcome, Operation Love, as some of us coined it. I was charged with the responsibility of leading a team of those who were aiding our Afghan guests amidst the hardship and trauma they faced. Love one another as I have loved you. This love was embodied in people from all walks of life coming together to provide culturally appropriate care, sleeping quarters, food, makeshift mosques, English classes, and all sorts of recreational opportunities, including tea parties, dancing, arts and crafts, and sporting activities. But even more, it was the warm welcome, smiles, and caring touches that slowly instilled a sense of safety and belonging in the hearts of our guests. I accepted this mission to help others, reluctantly at first, but over time, I realized how much I needed this mission. Lives were being transformed in powerful ways, not just the lives of the Afghan refugees, but also for those of us caring for them. Although on the surface, the cultural, religious, and language differences would seem like we had nothing in common, we all began to see these strangers in a new land as our brothers and sisters. Love one another as I have loved you. The Lord presents opportunities for all of us to share His transforming love every day. We do not need to go searching. But this was the surprise lesson I learned. I now see that this invitation to serve these people in great need was the Lord's gift to me. It expanded my capacity to love and be loved in a way that I had never experienced before. It transformed my grief into joy. And so, for this invitation to love, I will always be grateful.
We hope you've enjoyed today's Season of Joy reflection. Tune in tomorrow for the next edition in our Easter series. And if you haven't already joined our email list, visit htoh.us to sign up and receive more inspirational content delivered right to your inbox. May God bless your heart and the hearts of all your loved ones.